Hi guys, welcome to the Exit Light channel. Hope everyone is good. Before I start, could you please click the like button? It's free to do so. If you are not subscribed, could you hit the subscribe button? Okay, what we're going to talk about today. Oh, and before I start, we have got some brilliant podcasts coming up. I don't want to give too much away, but we have some really spooky stuff. We're going to get back to that sort of paranormal, ghostly hauntings and basically spooky. So we're going back to our roots, so to speak. We're going to talk about lighthouses. Lighthouses are beacons in the night for those out at sea. They ensure that boats enter harbours safely and serve as markers for hazardous coastlines. But life in a lighthouse can be pretty lonely. Just ask any lighthouse keeper. That's why eerie legends and ghost stories have surrounded lighthouses around the world throughout the years. The Seguin Island Lighthouse was built in 1857. It's the tallest lighthouse in Maine. One of its earliest lighthouse keepers lived there with only company of his wife for many years. She was very lonely and took to playing the piano at night to break the silence, but her husband seemingly had no outlet for his own feelings of isolation and loneliness. Apparently driven to madness, he took an axe and bludgeoned his wife to death before committing suicide. Many people claim that they have heard the ghostly sound of piano music floating from the lighthouse at night, even though there has been no piano inside there for many years. In 1985, a decision was made to decommission the lighthouse, and a warrant officer stayed the night to ensure all the furniture and other items of value were packed and put onto a boat. During the night, the officer woke with a start. The bed he was sleeping in was shaking violently, and a voice screamed at him to get out of the building. The brave officer wasn't too perturbed by this experience. However, staying up until the next day to pack up all the items, he got away as soon as he could, as soon as the boat came. And on a by note, a freak accident caused the boat to sink, never to reach its destination. The New London Ledge Lighthouse. The US Coast Guard began taking shifts at the New London Ledge Lighthouse in 1939. Not long after, spooky things started happening there. Legend has it that a lighthouse keeper by the name of Ernie jumped from the roof of the lighthouse to the ocean below, where his body never resurfaced. Many people don't believe that he killed himself, but the official story is that he cut his own throat with a fishing knife. I don't know which one of them stories is the worst or which is the best, I don't know. But Ernie's spirit allegedly refused to leave the lighthouse. His spirits frightened and annoyed the crew from the Coast Guard by making loud knocking sounds at night, pulling off the bedding of the people while they were sleeping, turning the television set on and off, which could be quite annoying. Some of the keepers didn't even wait until daylight to get away from the lighthouse, calling the mainland and asking to be fetched from this place immediately. After the lighthouse was automated in 1987, several reports filtered in from boat crews that a figure at the lighthouse has signalled them and tried to lure them to the dock. However, when these reports were investigated, not a living soul was in the lighthouse. The Gibraltar Point Lighthouse. According to legends are always right, remember, Gibraltar Point lighthouse keeper J.P. Radnor Muller refusal to share a drink of whiskey with a group of rowdy troops led to a fight. After the fight was over, Muller vanished, presumed dead and never to be seen again. If several ghostly legends are to be believed, however, Muller can indeed be seen at the lighthouse and the surrounding areas. Another version of the story states that the drink of choice was beer. According to this version, Muller and 2 or 3 soldiers were having a good round of drinks when Muller suddenly decided that enough was enough. He refused to let them have any more alcohol, easy for you to say, leading to a fierce fight in which Muller was buried near the water on the island. Some people have reported spotting a lonely, transparent figure aimlessly drifting around the island and the lighthouse, while others have heard moaning amid the drifts of thick mist that hang over the lighthouse and over the island. In a recent BBC article, several eyewitnesses detailed their ghostly encounters at the Talacree Lighthouse in the United Kingdom. Most of the accounts include sightings of a ghost of the lighthouse keeper pacing the walkway of the lighthouse tower, which has been out of service since the 1840s. Several also reportedly feeling ill after visiting the lower part of the lighthouse. One visitor described a trip with her husband to Talacree Beach a few years prior. There the couple spied the lighthouse keeper wearing an old-fashioned hat and uniform at the very top of the Talacree lighthouse. Though she insists the lighthouse was locked up tight, making it impossible for any human figure to be inside of it, both she and her husband spotted the figure from totally different vantage points. Another visitor at the beach was taking pictures with her children on the lighthouse steps when her 6-year-old son suddenly complained that he was feeling sick. By the following day, he had a high fever and severe tonsillitis. Eerily, 4 of the 5 children soon came down with the same symptoms. Fortunately, upon their return home, all the children became well again. It must have been quite a shock to the woman when she discovered that the lighthouse keeper had died of a fever. I think that's more of a coincidence than a haunting, to be quite honest with you. The Point Lookout Lighthouse. The Point Lookout Lighthouse was built in 1830, and basically it looks like a house with a lighthouse on top. It's known as one of the most haunted places in Maryland. For more than 130 years, the lighthouse served the surrounding community and ships until it was decommissioned in 1981, after which several reports of supernatural activity began popping up. In response to these reports, parapsychologist Dr. Hans Holzer and his team of other experts descended on the Point Lookout Lighthouse and managed to record 24 different voices during their investigation. The voice can be heard singing, talking, and even swearing. A voice saying "fire" if they get too close to you can be clearly heard on one of their recordings. Though thought to be related to the Confederate soldiers that were held prisoner on the island, Holzer also believes that he captured the voice of the first lighthouse keeper at Point Lookout, Ann Davis, who fondly spoke of "my home somewhere on the staircase." And a sighting of Ann Davis dressed in a white top, blue skirt was also reported. When a stinking smell emanated from the room inside the lighthouse, Holzer was convinced that it was the spirit of the tormented souls who wouldn't leave. Soon after he uttered this statement, the horrible smells disappeared. Well, what do you think, guys? Do you think it's possible that some of these lighthouses could be haunted? Do you think that some of it could just be coincidence? I think the one with the lady and her 4 children all getting ill, I think that's just maybe just a coincidence, to be honest, but you never know. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed listening, and remember, please hit that like button. It really helps Tracy out. And if you're not subscribed, click the subscribe button, and then if you click the little bell, you'll be notified of any up and coming content and any up and coming podcasts. So take care, everybody. Stay safe, and I will see you soon.